How's it going? This is Dylan.
This is Leslie.
And this is musicandmascara.com.
Where learning to share equals growth.
So today we want to talk about, I don't necessarily want to say it's an objection, but it kind of is.
It does fit in with our objection series.
It does fit in with our objection series. And what it really is they say, well, I don't know how to sell anything because I'm not a salesman. Or they may not feel like they have anything to sell.
So if we go back to talking about the sales objections, and a lot of people think like, I can't do sales or I'm not a salesperson. What that is an objection to, maybe it's just a different concept. They just think of sales as whatever. Like we talked about this in our
sport jacket and
we talked about this in our money objection episode. Like how you feel about something is even what drives that. So if you have kind of like a icky feeling about sales, of course it's going to be hard for you to think about doing it, right? But we do it every day. Essentially you are sharing things that you love every day, right? So the difference is being able to make money or to draw attention or to build a network based on that sharing, because I could share with you where I bought this shirt, where I got these coffee cups. You share things every day. You share your favorite coffee at Starbucks. You share a restaurant that you love. And the only difference in sharing something you're passionate about for that is you're making somebody else money versus sharing something that could bring the audience and the attention back to you. Whether that's you have a product to sell, you have an opportunity to offer, you have a talent to share, whether, you're a musician, whatever. So if you take out that sales mentality, essentially, sometimes you do actually have a product to sell and you are there to make money. Like, I'm not trying to mislead you, but essentially you are just sharing. If you're passionate about it, it turns into a sharing opportunity. So just understand, again, so we'll just, I feel like we're going into like a psychology series, right?
Yep.
Like, think about how you feel about sales and sharing, and even identify what you like and don't like about it. I really I used to not, I was like a void salesman person. But now I really like for somebody to approach me, and I'm analyzing them basically. Like I want to know how they approach me. How did they try to touch and relate to me and evoke some kind of emotion? Like there's a tactic to it. And all I'm doing is learning from it now. And I'll tell them that's what I'm doing. I'm like, yeah, go ahead and pitch me. Because I'm trying to learn from that. And that creates conversation in itself.
Absolutely.
And gives me an opportunity to share what I do with somebody. So, realize how you feel about the situation.
The only thing different between just sharing, like where you had coffee and stuff, is now you're doing it with intention, for benefit to you, right? But that doesn't mean that you have to all of a sudden take on this sales mentality, like I need to go attack this person and tell them what's important to me. We don't need to do that. We can still do it in the same thing, like sharing your favorite coffee or whatever. But now you have, like I said, you have something intentional to share, whatever your product or whatever your service is. But the way we really want to do that is to really truly show interest in people. And to tell people who we are before we even start sharing, and not, hi, my name is Dylan, this is what I do, buy this coffee cup. It's really helping them to understand who we are, and this is going to go all the way back to the same thing we say in every video, but it really comes down to building relationships with people. So I'll use the music side of this for an example. So, I work with a lot of musicians in what I do. And a lot of musicians will say, well, I have a difficult time promoting my shows, promoting my music. Artists, the same thing. Models, the same thing. I have a hard time I hate the phrase, getting your name out there. But that's what they do. They have a hard time, and they always revert back to, I have to get my name out there. And they'll even revert to doing things for free because they're trying to promote themselves. And the bottom line is, one of the things that, especially in the art side of the world, we have a hard time with is saying that we have a product, okay? But we do, because we're trying to sell a seat, we're trying to put somebody in that seat, or we're trying to sell a CD. But think of it this way, in music or whatever product that is. Think of it this way, that you're not selling just a seat. You're not selling it, because I want to take you away from the whole, money is my art, right? That's not it. It's this goes back to, again, the same thing for everything. No matter what it is, whether it's music, whether it's coffee, whether it's a car, it doesn't matter. It comes back to the feeling that we give somebody by giving them or selling them our product, right? So if our music inspires a person, if our art inspires a person or gives them that feeling at the end of the day when they walk into that club or whatever to hear that music, then we've done what we wanted to do. Same thing with buying a car. I just bought a truck last week. And you know what? Even the car, so I'm a car person, even the car that I've had for a year, I still get that feeling when I drive it. That means that the salesperson did the right thing, because even a year later, I still get that feeling that I love this thing when I drive it, right? So that means that salesperson a year ago still did their job, and you know what? The next time we go get one of those cars, I'm going to go see that guy, because he did it properly, because he got to the root of the feeling that I want to have when I'm using this product or what it's moving me to do. Just like music does, just like art does, just like anything does that is properly been sold to us. But it comes back to the same thing, is allowing our clients and our customers to really know who we are.
Absolutely. This the connection that you can create with somebody, listening to you, the first things I think of, the car salesman, because that's a connection. But from a music perspective for me, I'm not a musician, so I don't, you go in with a different brain than I do when we go to listen to music, which we do a lot. But the people I like listening to are the people I've connected with, whether that's online or I've watched them. Maybe I haven't even made a connection with them. But to truly have a personality, there's one person, I won't call him out, but there's one person that is not very active on social media, doesn't really have a presence, other than he's really good about promoting his shows, which I do appreciate, because that is something we struggle with to get people to understand the need for. But until the last time I saw him, I'd never really connected personality-wise with him. And it just makes a huge difference. Like, you want to go and support those people more. You want to know more about them because it makes their music make more sense. And it just brings a different level of connection, because that music, especially people that are writing music, there's a reason they're writing that music, right? And maybe it doesn't resonate with me, but once you get to know that person more, I'm going to understand their art more. And it's just going to draw more people in and attract the right people to them that are going to want to purchase their.
So let's use that same concept with everything else. So it could be a car, it could be another product, it could be a business opportunity. That connection is what makes sales
even
not
what I
feel
do,
like sales.
Direct sales, network marketing. Ultimately, they say people don't join a company, they join a person.
Yeah.
Because they want to do what you're doing, and they're like, wow, that seems amazing. I want to do what you're doing. You seem like you love life. People watch these videos and they know immediately, there's a lot of people we don't know, like personally yet, that we haven't met in person. But I guarantee you, everybody watching this right now, who you like out of each of us, if you don't like both of us, whatever, and who you would connect with immediately when you meet us in person. And that is a very powerful thing.
I'll tell you, that's really interesting you say that, because we meet people on the street all the time, not even in our town. It could be in a completely other state. Doesn't matter. We've seen them they've seen us on YouTube, and it is interesting because they will walk up to us and you get this feeling from them that they've already connected with us. Like they already know who we are just from a video. That means that we're doing something right with how we present ourselves to the world. And that's really what it comes down to with sales. It's
Right.
not even about the product. Shaking the camera. It's not even about the product itself or whatever. Now we can put that in there after we've built this relationship, and it won't even feel like sales. We won't even feel like that dirty sales
and a lot of
that we talk
dirty.
about. Creepy, whatever you want to
A
call
lot
it.
of time, what did I say? I said icky.
Icky. Yeah.
That's a professional word. But a lot of times it doesn't even have to. So that's a really cool thing about building true relationships is those conversations happen organically.
Yep.
You know, a typical dude conversation is like, hey, nice to meet you. What do you do for a living? Like they invite you to share. And, you know, as you get to know people, or even, you know, well, I just keep using you as an example. You pull something out and they're like, oh, what is that? Or you go to help somebody do something and you have a pick in your pocket and they're like, oh, do you play music? People will, if you're listening and paying attention and truly connecting with people, they create those conversations for you even. You know, for what I do, obviously, is makeup, and that's the first thing. They won't even know that I sell makeup, but they're like, oh, I really like that lipstick. And it just creates a conversation just based on a compliment. So in turn, also, that is a great way for you to create conversations that maybe you're uncomfortable having, is to just compliment is one of those number one things. I wrote a blog about this, but if you can compliment somebody to kind of open up conversation, then it creates that relationship building and sharing versus feeling like you're salesy or actually like cold market approaching somebody.
Yep, and as a result, you know, we were out a couple weeks ago, and I had one of my friends. You were having a conversation with somebody, and one of my friends said, you know, Leslie is really good at that because in all the time I've known you, I mean, I know what y'all do, but she's never once told me
Right.
what y'all do. Like he's like, I just kind of know. And that's the thing. Now you're not pushy, icky salesperson, but you are there. Now, then you can have an opening once in a while in a conversation to, with purpose, tell people what you do, and it doesn't feel so creepy because they kind of already, oh yeah, I already know what you do.
Right.
You know, and that's the thing. So it really comes down to building relationships, and this comes up in every video. But the bottom line is you have to start sharing stuff with people that has nothing to do with your business, and that will tell people who you really are. And if they connect with who you really are, not who you are on stage or who you are between 8 to 5 or who you are,
Right.
not that guy. They want to know the rest of you. And if you can figure out a way to do that, they're going to connect with you, and you're not going to have to push any buttons.
Right. And on the flip side, let's say you're already, you feel like you're doing a good job of this. You know how to share effectively. You feel like you're building relationships. Don't lose the aspect just because you have a product or service to sell. It doesn't have to be exclusive. Stay real to yourself. I guarantee you there's other products that you love that aren't what you sell. There's other things that you do that aren't what you sell. Make sure that you're keeping to like a full personality and your full self versus this is all I ever talk about, because then people kind of get burnt out by that. No matter what the relationship you've built is.
Oh my God, my Facebook is getting clogged up with this dude promoting this one thing
Right.
that he does. You know, and I keep going back to the most exciting thing that happened to me all month. But, you know, I mean, I bought this truck last week, and the thing about it is it opened up a ton of conversation on Facebook and stuff. A, because of the brand I bought, and B, because it's not something that I talked about. I don't think anybody had really any idea how much I actually wanted a truck. It was a
Right.
weird thing. Like, I realized that I had not talked about it. And as a result, all of these people that I'd not had formally had a lot of conversations with, it drew them in. And now we're having all these conversations, and actually it's opened up a whole bunch of business opportunity because people learned something about me that they didn't know before. I've known these people. I've had conversations about music and guitars and all kinds of stuff. But I opened up another door of personality that they didn't realize.
Right.
And I didn't even think about it at the time. But afterwards, I started to look at it and really go, you know what? Opening up this other part of my personality that people didn't realize, because everybody thought I was a Volkswagen guy. And I am. But I'm also a truck guy.
Right.
They didn't know that.
Yeah. So.
And it just draws in a whole nother crowd of people and a whole nother aspect of my personality that people are open to having conversations about other things. And next thing you know,
that happens to me.
Yeah.
We laugh, like, Instagram is everybody's food, right? Like, people share a bunch of food on Instagram. And actually, when I have an opportunity to share food, I share it on Instagram too. And it brings in a different audience than what I normally appeal to, because, again, people are learning stuff about us that we don't know.
Yep.
And they want to know that. People, it sounds silly to say that you take a picture of your food, but people are really interested in what you do. The breakfast videos, like, that's a hit. People love to know that about you, and it just brings, bringing somebody into your home is just a different level of connection.
Yeah, and this also goes back to the whole level of production. Now, we have a studio and we make these videos and all that, but man, people just want to see your phone on a selfie stick with some food, and they want to see you out doing something and the camera shaking around and getting kind of blurry, but that's really you. Mm-hmm. That's who you are, and that's what you're doing. You're not a film student. You're just a person doing stuff, and they want to see that. And if you start doing that, then the rest of it is gonna follow. It really, really will. And I will tell you, from experience, I think it was probably 2 weeks ago, we had a conversation about our businesses and about our slow time in the summer, because everybody wants to make an excuse about slow time in the summer. And I was like, no, it's my fault.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have a phone on a selfie stick doing all the stuff that I'm supposed to do. I didn't do all those goofy things. And you're like, oh, this feels so stupid. But it's real, and people want to see real. Mm-hmm. That's how you sell. If you want to know how you sell, you just be real. That's all it is. And don't stop.
And it's got to be honest, though. People know when you're dishonest.
Oh, yeah. And consistent every day. The people that do live videos every day, and the people that do one or two purposeful type posts on their business page, not every 10 minutes, but 1 or 2 a day, and a live video every day, are selling more stuff and are more successful than the people that are not.
Absolutely. No, I agree.
That's it. Just be real. My name is Dylan.
I'm Leslie.
And this is musicandmascara.com.